Okay, I see this minute has already passed. Oh, Rotterdam, excellent. All right, so let's kick this webinar off. So welcome everyone for joining in to this webinar. My name is Chrisoula Papadopoulou. I am the coordinator of the master's program. And I would like to give you an overview of what the program can provide you, why you should join it, and what do you expect to get out of this program. So let's start. First of all, why choosing RBS? RBS is located in one of the key areas of the Netherlands, but also in Europe. It's the best hub that you can ever have in terms of logistics. We have one of the highest and the most busiest ports in Europe right now, and actually one of the biggest in the world. Because of that, the Rotterdam Business School has adopted a very international approach. We are an applied university, so if you can see, almost 70% of our student body is actually international. We have very good collaborations with multiple, as we call them, learning partners and other universities worldwide. And this is how we are gaining our applied side. Also, we have very good connections within international organization, businesses, but also small and medium firms scattered from Rotterdam to the Netherlands, to Europe, and actually also globally. We are very happy to announce that in terms of career education, 40%, even actually in our program, more than 40% of our program is applied, which means that you're going to experience real life projects, not just case studies, but real life projects, and work with real key stakeholders. Although RBS, you will see here, has 93% of the graduates that can be employed within 6 months, which is we are very proud to announce that, and we are very proud for that achievement that we have so far. We are also, as a university, accredited, so we are competing with any other university globally. And also we are very proud because we have a very strong student support system to accommodate any need that a student may have. So another reason that you should choose the Rotterdam Business School is the strategic positioning of the school. Right now, all the efforts of the schools and the strategic focus is talent for transition, which means we directly connect with the industry and we really know what the industry requires now, like tomorrow, but also in 3 years and in 5 years. For that reason, we have focused in 4 pillars. This is purpose, economy, circular economy, digital, and leadership. These are the 4 pillars that any educational program actually is based on. The same happens with our program. So we are touching all those 4 pillars as is it related to supply chain. And also the school has 4 societal challenges, and there you can see the sustainable delta, future-proof economy, vibrant community, and smart social cities. This is where all our, let's say, focus, investment, and time is actually funneled as a school. Now, why choose supply chain, which is actually a very good question. And if you were actually with me in the room, I would have addressed that question to you. So why you choose supply chain? Is it because the last few years you heard the word too many times? Especially after COVID, it became like as recognizable as marketing or finance? Or is it something that you see in the value of the profession itself? Well, I hope the answer that you give is both. Supply chain, especially, it has always been here. Logistics have always been here. We always had the need to move products. That's not something that has been actually developed right now. What has changed right now is the complexity of how we make things and how interrelated we are globally with each other. So for that reason, there is a high demand of young talent like yours to actually help and enable the businesses to set up these supply chains and actually manage them. And it's not enough anymore just to manage the supply chain, so to be efficient, but it's actually more than that. Supply chain has taken multiple different phases and roles, and actually it's not just a part of a business, but it's the business itself. So we're looking now to transition to more sustainable solutions, as supply chain plays a vital role and contribution to sustainability globally, but also to create supply chains that enable and help humanity itself. We are having a lot of different issues to tackle right now. From some of them are coming out because of the climate change, for instance. So humanitarian logistics, different types of elements of logistics, shortages in supply chain, all of those elements have actually became a very big headache and part and actually priorities in almost all companies globally. So there is a global demand. And as I put here, it's expected to grow 30% from 20 to 30. We're now in 2024, and we see that our students are absorbed into companies to have different and multiple roles in supply chain very, very fast. But also what we are finding is we are not going to have enough people. So scarcity of talent is something that a lot of the companies will also face as we're moving on. But also, if we're looking at locally from the Dutch perspective, the Dutch ambition is still the same, is to retain its position as a leading logistics nation. And as a hub, and especially in Rotterdam, where we are located, we play a pivotal role in what we do and how we are doing it. So in the global scale, we are looking also the impact of AI technology, how this is transformed, 5G, how all of these technological advancements actually impact the supply chains. And all of this together, from technology to sustainability to the high complexity to the constant need to retain resilience, mitigate risks, but also keep on growing with different channels, from e-commerce that we have seen and only retail, which is growing significantly. The need for supply chain is here. So if these are the reasons why you want to join, then you are in the right place already. So as a program, we are 1 year. And we have 60 credits. Our English is our language, and we have 2 intakes. So we have one in September and one in February. Of course, we have the MSc program is also offered as a part-time, and that has only 1 intake, which is in February. But I will explain in my last email that the differences between the two. So why choose MSc at RBS? Well, we're doing a good job to start with, and if you're looking at the end result is that 90% of our graduates are employed within 3 months. And actually, to be really open with you, a lot of them are employed before they actually graduate our program. So that is a good testimony for the quality of the program that we are offering. It's not an easy program. That's I have to disclaim this, but in the end, you can all see why it was built as it was built. We have 4 pillars. If we look at this into like a small pyramid, the industry this month, we are preparing you for not only the Dutch employability, but also in a European or global level in case you want to return home. We have close to 45% of our program which is applied, and we constantly renew our curriculum in consideration with our board, advisory board, with our students, with the feedback that they provide us, and also with the faculty, academia, and above all with industry. The industry is always working with us hand in hand in projects and modules, research, events, and so on and so forth. Also, we have a very international perspective. Every cohort is very unique, but if we really average, we see we have about 52% international students, and the rest are European. And we also put a lot of effort to align also with two of the strategic pillars, purpose and circular economy, with 5 SDGs that we feel those are that directly link to our program, 8, 9, 12, 13, and 17. Our curriculum is also built in pillars, and we are very happy that last September we moved from competencies to the skills, knowledge, and attitude framework that has been proposed from OECD as the future of education. And as you can see here, we take the RBS vision and we translate it to what that means for supply chain. And for us, it means that we want to foster supply chain managers for a resilient and sustainable future by working through knowledge, skills, and attitudes interchangeably, which means that when you have a module, you will always learn something, but also you will learn a skill, and also you will develop an attitude, and all of them will be assessed. So how do we learn is also really important, and that is one big difference from a bachelor degree, or perhaps if you're coming from an educational system which is very hierarchical. We are using the collaborative learning model, and what that means is, in the beginning, of course, we will take it slowly with helping you, but we are gonna move from let's say lecturers to coaches, which means we are going to help you gradually working together, generate knowledge as well, absorb knowledge from what we are providing you. A good example will be all our practice courses, where you will be working in groups with real stakeholders, with real problems. And there you really need not only to learn, but also to teach those stakeholders. So you take a dual, let's say, role in that collaboration. And it's not something that it sounds really good. It's something that is actually a necessity from the industry, because if you go to work right now, sometimes you will be a leader, sometimes you're going to be part of the team, but most importantly, you will be taken from one area of supply chain to move to another area of supply chain, depending on the needs of the company, and you have to be super agile to be able to cope with these changes and the new needs that you're asked to have. So what do? We are student-centered, which means we put the student into the center. That's not the same as customer centricity. It means that we have built a program that really is solid for you to come out confident, a confident supply chain manager. We are applied as I explained before, but also, which is extremely important for our program, since we are using a collaborative learning model, is to make sure that we create a safe learning environment for you. And it's easy as a word, it's quite sometimes difficult to implement, but we are very happy that we have achieved very good results so far. And we commit to a better world, to a resilient and sustainable future. And that's why we selected these 5 SDGs to commit to. Our promise to education is to inspire students to become the best they can be. And what do we mean by that? You all come from different backgrounds, you have different aspirations, different goals, and we don't want to make all of them the same. We don't want to standardize your learning or your goals setting. So what we try to achieve is whatever you want to achieve, will help you with our guidance to go there. And I think that is the best thing that you can achieve in an education. Our curriculum, we have 4 blocks. Each block is 8 contact weeks and 2 extra weeks for assessments. We do not have exams. As a master level program, we have assignments, and assignments comes in multiple forms. Some of them will be group work, some of them will be individual work, some of them will be presentations, some of them will be proposals, videos. We have a high diversity of assignments to make sure that we cover all the different diversity needs of the students, but also the different needs of each module itself. So each blog has a different purpose. The first block is where we kind of explain to you the strategy of the supply chain. So we look at on a high level, we look at from the outside. So what is happening externally and what is happening on a management and a strategic level. So you get an idea how things are linked externally, but also on the high level in the management and senior team of the businesses. Block 2 is more operationalization. So there, what we are, it's actually one big 8 ECs module. And one of the key elements right now and challenges that most companies face is they get graduates where they have multiple different understanding of how to do, but they cannot put everything together. As a supply chain manager, right now, you have to create an integrated supply chain planning. And so this is the place where we take what the business is asking you and how you as a supply chain manager actually are going to plan and execute. So this is the integrated supply chain planning course there. In block 3, we were moving to performance. So now that you know how the strategy is working, now that you know how we move from strategy to operations, the next step is you need to execute and you need to drive the results. So our third block is performance driven, and we have a simulation there as well. The operations and maritime course where you're gonna work a little bit and learn more about the port and the operations and how we can drive performance through that. Block 4 is where you are actually all by yourself. You are effectively independent. You are now have to showcase that all these learnings that you have, you can apply them in multiple different contexts. In different cases, you can work with ambiguous situations. You can also create your own data and you can synthesize it all together to identify where the actual problem is and work through a solution of complex and high complexity and complex level problems. Having said that, what I want to stress in this program is 2 more things. One is throughout the program is super important for us that you are developing, you are improving your skills as a manager. So we have the PLD course, the professional leadership course that will take you hand in hand from block 1 until block 3 to help you developing the soft side of the management. And that will help you to combine also and have a full control of how you can resolve problems in terms of multicultural or working in teams and things like that. The second element I want to address is, and I think a lot of you will ask, is about the thesis or the capstone. We have created what we call the graduate portfolio. The graduate portfolio consists of three elements. The first one is the professional portrait. The second one is the thesis itself, the report, and then we have the thesis or the capstone or the defense, the professional defense. The professional portrait is what we have created a model. It's very specific, and this is how we measure and assess how your attitude is changing and how you develop as a professional. It's super important element to go out of a program where you are completely in control and you understand how your personal limitations or your personal strengths can fit you to the right position and how this impacts your decision making. Your thesis and capstone, this is independent, so you have to come with either to find a sponsor. So we will not provide a sponsor. Sometimes, of course, we have some options, and we provide some cases of companies that they want, and they offer some opportunities for students to work and do their thesis. But this is an independent work, so you have to think that what do you want to do, and then you want to write a report. The thesis is you become much more a topic expert. Like, for instance, you want to be more into sustainability and you want to work on circular systems, so you become much more expert into the theme. But a capstone is when you really want to work hands-on on a business and you want to actually really provide a solution there. The defense is also important because the defense is not only on your thesis and capstone. In the defense, you will be examined on the total understanding of the program. So the questions will not be only on your thesis. That could be maybe the kickoff point or your capstone, but then most of the defense is on do you understand supply chain at a management level? Have you mastered that? And what I have left last is that we have these 4 professional deliverables. The project management living lab starts from block 1 and ends in block 2. This is where you're gonna work with multi-stakeholders, which means this not just a project of a company with a problem, but you're gonna have a societal level problem that you need to work. And this is what also happens right now for businesses and supply chains. You can't solve complex problems by yourself, but you need the assistance of multiple stakeholders. So this is where you're gonna really being exposed to work with a lot of ambiguity, a lot of different needs, and how do you balance it? So you will really, really work on the balance and solutions. The second one will be the pressure cooker. Actually, our pressure cooker is in about 2 weeks' time. This is the pearl also of our program. This is, again, one case, one problem from a company in block 4. And this is where we will test you if you can now if your boss says you have 4 days to deliver a solution, can you actually do it? It's super fun. Everybody is raving about this course. Maybe it's also because it's in the end of the program, but we are very proud. It's very well polished, and it's another professional real case example. And finally, like I said, is the professional portrait and then the capstone. Now, I wanted also to mention that the graduate portfolio, the thesis and the capstone part will be supported in block 1 and 2 by research skills. Our research skills are all on supply chain, so it's not just random, but it's skills that you really need to have also in your real life experience and work. And also for the professional portrait, you will have coaching from block 1 until you deliver your portrait. I'm not going to go into the details, but I just want only to say very briefly why we selected the skills, knowledge, and attitude. In the knowledge, what we are looking is what do you know and what do you understand. So part of all modules, one element, one component that we are going to be testing you is, do you know supply chain? Do you know the elements? And do you understand what that means? And then on a second level, we will be looking at how can you use what you know in the best possible way, and under uncertainty, under not full data or information, and in different contexts. And the last part is attitude. Now that you know that you have those skills, how do you behave? How do you engage in the real world? And this, a lot of this behavior comes out to your attitude towards education, your degree, but also when you collaborate with others. Are you a person that you don't do anything and you wait from others? Which, of course, we're not going to allow it. We already have different ways to kick people out of teams. But what is your attitude? How can you improve? So that's the reason we selected this learning approach. And I have a couple of examples. You will go to the port. We have a very beautiful event there. We are aligning this to our operations and maritime management course. And it's a lot of fun. You're going to get exposed to the technologies that the port offers. You're going to have interaction with experts, and it's really fun to see. But also during the course itself, you're going to have guest lectures. You're going to meet all these different stakeholders. You're going to engage with different events we are offering, and also the RBS itself is offering, and so on and so forth. And this is an example of our international project Living Lab. You can see here a little bit about how, some of the experiences. This is the photographs that we took from the previous cohort. And this is multiple different pressure cookers we have created. We work with really big names, and we have the senior management of those companies coming in, and actually we have a Dragon's Den and a winner in the end. And yeah, you see some other examples, application on the professional application of the portrait that we do. And then, of course, the capstone is an applied research. We are a great team. The reason I put these faces there, and yes, they do have the consent to be in this presentation. So what I want to stress there, we're all also very diverse from different backgrounds, not only in ethnicity-wise, but also in terms of experience within supply chain. We have different, like we have people, very experts from Unilever, my experience with Nike and different other places. So we have a very huge pool of experience in the senior level of supply chain. And the interesting part is that the majority of those lecturers still are active in supply chain. So that you are not hearing something from an academic perspective, you're hearing something that from people that are currently exercising their knowledge and professionalism in the field of supply chain. So who should apply? So the MSc program is ideal for professionals eager to engage with complex global supply chain challenges. So if you're here just only to learn the knowledge and leave, that will not be the program for you. But if you are here to become the next leader or the next person who wants to go ahead and do something meaningful for professionally for yourself, but also for the supply chain itself, then that is the program for you. So whether you are a recent graduate or graduate from non-business disciplines, or at your early stage of your career, then perhaps this is the perfect program for you. Some professional outcomes. We have, like I explained before, we are doing very, very well in connecting with the industry and what the industry wants from a program. So we have a very good, solid success record of students finding jobs. We also have an alumni network. Is not officially driven from the school, but because our students are feeling very connected with our program, they retain that engagement connectivity after their studies. And you will see it here once you are in the program. You will see even students hiring other students, other alumni, or students bringing their own projects into our program, which is also very, very good to see. And above all, what I like to state is the last 5 years, we did a big effort as a team to upscale this program to create not just another supply chain professional, but supply chain professionals that are very self-driven and they want to make an effort to change something for the best. And we are very privileged to see some of our alumni doing exceptionally well and becoming leaders in the field of supply chain globally. Now I'll leave this here. If you have any questions about the admissions and you want specific details, you can scan this QR code. It will take you straight to the website. But in brief, we need you to have a business-related bachelor's degree or a non-business related degree with a minimum of 2 years of experience in supply chain. But then in that case, you will have an interview to enter in. We do expect to see your curriculum vitae and motivation letter. And please, if you write a motivation letter, let us know why supply chain and why our RBS. You have some language requirements depending if you come from an international school or a non-English based school. And finally, oh yes, this is my last slide, and that is to mention that we have 2 types of programs, like I mentioned before. So MSc is the full-time. This is what I just explained to you today, like right now. We also have the same program in a part-time version. Nothing of what described changed besides for who the program is intended to and the admission criteria. So if you are thinking to work and study at the same time, then you really need to already been working in supply chain for quite a while and come with a company in and be available every Thursday to start the course. You cannot go from the full-time to the part-time or from the part-time to the full-time so far. So you really need to make a decision where you fit. But definitely the part-time is for professionals who are already working in supply chain and they really want to advance to a senior role. And I will see if you have any further questions. I hope I gave you a good overview of who we are, what the program is, and kind of encourage you to think, do you want to join our, our family or our program or not? So I will just check to see if there are some questions. Or if you have some questions, please put them right now in the chat. I will wait for a couple of minutes to see if you have any questions. I do not see any questions so far. Lotte, if you are in the webinar, could you just type in the chat to see if there are any more questions? Otherwise, we can actually close the webinar. Katerina has a question. Okay. Okay, I'll go with Robert. He already wrote the question. I am Dutch and I have finished logistics engineering at the Hoge. Okay. I do not think you have you have any requirements for English to enter our program, but I think you should contact Lotte. Lotte, you can also take this question perhaps to answer. But I would contact Koya for that, Robert. Sorry, I am not in the admissions. Another question is, I have a doubt regarding the differentiation masters in supply chain. Yes. Okay. So the question is that what is the difference between an applied school and a research school? The master you go out with a Master of Science, which is the same degree from both. Let's start from there. But where the difference is, you may have the same question, but approach it from a different way. So we are indeed complementary. So for instance, you can say, you are in a business and you say, well, I see very high fluctuations in my inventory and I want to know why. A research university predominantly will work to create a model of how you can sort this out, or you will try to model why this is a fluctuation. As an applied school, we will be working to see from all the tools that are available which one will provide you with the right results. So it's a matter of approaching the same question, one from more, let's say, research understanding. The other one is much more, what can I do now to sort out my problem? So I always like to say, if you were in the military, you have the intelligence and you have the people who go into the field. We are the guys who go into the field. So when you're in the field, you don't have to say, wait a minute, there is a bullet coming. I have to do my research of how I avoid the bullet. You need to know your stuff in order to be safe. But you need somebody to tell you how, the research behind it. So we are complementary. I'm not sure if that was the perfect example, but let me know if you have more questions, Varun. Edward, in the last slide, there was something mentioned about a pre-master. Is it still needed if I have a business degree? So pre-master has different conditions. So it depends where you're coming from, Edward. But normally, if you have a non-business degree or you have no experience, cultural experience working in diverse groups, or issues with language and stuff like that, we suggest you go to the pre-master. But again, once you make your application, Koya will funnel you either to one way or another. If they have a doubt, you always come and either me or Simone is the coordinator for the pre-master, so he's my counterpart. We have a discussion and then maybe we call you for an extra interview to see where you fit. I hope I answered your question. If not, please let me know. Mandy, do we allow to use AI to analyze yeah. Well, we have, of course, as you realize, all universities are in the same page because AI is here to stay. It's not something that we can avoid. So the question here is how we incorporate it in a good way into the learning. So you can use definitely AI as we use Google, but where AI will not help you is when you will have to work on critical analysis. So as I mentioned before, we do not have exams, we have assignments. And most of the assignments, like almost 60% of the value of the assignment, will be on critical analysis. So that is something AI cannot do. So yes, the answer, maybe you can use it. We will incorporate it. We will help you to understand how to incorporate it in your learning path. But you still need to showcase you can think and you can make decisions. Also, I hope I answer your question. Okay. Is there a possibility for a double degree? I don't know what you mean, Katerina, for that. This is a full-time program. So maybe I know I know one student who did the Master in Consultants Entrepreneurship, and then, which is one of our other masters, and then straight after that joined our master. That's 2 years because they're both full-time. So you do them at the same time. I don't think it is possible. Also, it's not. They don't have courses that they are the same. So if your question also comes into, can you transfer courses? That is not possible. Let me see. Thank you, Lotte, for answering to Robert. Thank you, Varun. Let's see. Mandy says I have a bachelor, double degree information system and management. Mandy, where are you from? Or did you told me you are from Indonesia? Sorry, you told me before. I don't know. Normally in your case, we land on our desk. And most probably we'll have an interview with you because I want to understand the management experience that you have. And if it is related to supply chain. Now, I want just to explain something. We are doing a management degree. It is a supply chain at the master's level. So what we try to avoid is people that they understand a little bit of management, but they have no understanding what, for instance, an inventory is, because our course goes pretty fast. So if you have questions or you are unsure, please let Koya or somebody to have a contact with me, and then I will have a discussion to see which track is best for you. So once you are into the program, you can take the most out of the program. Because if we are talking about deep conversations on inventory, and then you have never seen a warehouse, you can do it, but it will be a bit challenging to catch up with the rest of the group. Udit Narayan, I am a working professional and working on IT sector. Well, I don't know, I'm not the admission, so I cannot admit you. But again, you are also on the grade line, because I don't know what sustainability management project you did. Normally, we have some students because I don't know what you mean by IT. Do you mean digital or do you mean hardware IT? Do you mean, I need to see your CV to understand where you're coming from. If you just work just typing into a computer or as a computer user, I'm not so sure if this can help. So you worked in operations. Again, once you send your CV, I will see what you've done. Most probably we'll have a conversation to see which program suits you best. So, any more questions? Yeah, so we have supply chain. Well, we don't have special. Well, the second course we do is integrated supply chain planning. So effectively, you will work with data. So if that is your question, Varun, supply chain analytics, yes, and procurement, you cover it in supply chain management in block 1. And in block 2, it comes more as sales and operations and stuff like that. Did this answer your question? Yeah, okay. Any more questions? Okay. Well, as Lotte said, she posted 1644. You can see the website if you have any more questions. So thank you for taking the time to join. And I hope I managed to provide you with sufficient information, but also with some inspiration to join our program, because I will be really happy to meet with you in person, hopefully either February or in September. So depends for which program you are applying. So if you have no more questions, I would like to finish this. Oh, you had a question about internship. I think I explained this. You have to. Internships are not compulsory from our program, but you have to have an internship if you have to have a capstone. And sometimes we help some students, but we cannot help all of them. So it's dependent on what you want to do. Block 4, besides the pressure cooker, which is 1 week intensive in the beginning of block 4, there are no more classes. So if you really want to do an internship, you can do it in block 4. And block 3, it is more limited in ECs. So you could effectively start your internship slowly in block 3 and then go full time in block 4. So I hope that answers your question. There are some projects. We are balanced between group work and individual assignment, if that is your question. So it's not going to be all group and it's not going to be all individual. Block 1 is predominantly individual because you are still learning. And as we increase the independence level, we go more into the group, because this is how you're going to work as a manager later. But all of the, besides the capstone, all practice courses are in group work, because that's the only way it works. You have to work as a group. It doesn't work to be an individual, because normally you have about 100 students per cohort. Does this answer your question, Robert? Okay. Okay. All right. Super exciting. I hope, you like this. If yes, put a smiley face in the chat. And if you have any other questions, either go to Koya or, contact contact me, and then we will be happy to see you. Super nice. And thank you for all your smiley faces and your interaction. All right. Bye-bye.